puppies.
Hi, my name is Jyotsna Gupta, and today I'll be talking to you about volunteering. Volunteering is a very personal topic to me because I used to volunteer since high school, and today I want to convince you that volunteering is a great thing to do and it's worth your time. I volunteered in several different places. I volunteered in city hospitals, small town hospitals, and the VA, so I do know a little bit about volunteering, and I think it's a great thing to do. Volunteering is a great thing to do, and it's beneficial to both you and your community. It's a really important part of American life. In 2010, the Department of Labor Statistics recorded that 26.3% of Americans volunteered within the last year. And in 2009, Independent Sector reported that volunteers provided 8.1 billion hours worth of volunteering, which is approximately equal to $169 billion, which is a lot of money. And if volunteers were to be paid for their services, they would be paid about $21.36 per hour, which is a lot more than minimum wage. Volunteering isn't just beneficial towards your community, it helps you as a person too. A lot of people volunteer to boost their resumes. For example, we've all gone through the college application process, so if you had any volunteer hours, you probably wrote that down somewhere, and it's great for job applications too. And I've never heard of this person getting to medical school without having some volunteering hours. Some programs also require their members to be a volunteer. For example, I was in NHS as well as many of my friends, and we had to do 100 hours of volunteer work per year. But nowadays, everyone is so busy that it feels like there's no time to volunteer. People who say they don't have time to volunteer, and that's not really true. So many people spend time on Facebook, and they could be using that time to go out and volunteer. According to a recent review of literature, people who spend at least 100 hours volunteering per year, which is about 2 hours per week, are supposed to have major health benefits such as a significantly decreased chance of depression, which is important in today's society. It especially helps old people because they feel like they're contributing back to the community and they have something to do with their lives instead of just relaxing in retirement. A lot of people see volunteering as a really tedious thing to do. A lot of people force their kids to do it, and that's just a big mess. But I think that there's a volunteer opportunity out there for everyone. For example, I want to be a doctor, so I volunteered in hospitals. My friend wants to be an English teacher, so she volunteers at the library. During spring break last year, a lot of my friends went down to Florida and helped out with Habitat for Humanity, which was a really fun project for them. And you can also volunteer at animal shelters. And here, I just have some photographs of people volunteering. Up here is a person volunteering at a library. Below that's Habitat for Humanity. Then under that is a project from my hometown called Service Learning Day, which I'll talk about more later. And then below that is a girl helping out at a hospital. Think about what you guys use your spare time for. I know all of you have Facebook. I'm friends with every single one of you. MySpace, not so much anymore, but people watch TV all the time. They spend hours doing it per week. Now, imagine yourself using that time to benefit your community. You could volunteer at a hospital or an animal shelter or at your local park, and it's really rewarding. And imagine all the people you'll be helping doing that. One way to, I use my spare time to volunteer at hospitals, like I said. I've worked at city hospitals, local hospitals, and the VA. And they all gave me slightly different experiences, and I really learned a lot, and it was tons of fun. I interacted with patients, I learned how to read an x-ray, I actually helped out with some procedures, and it really reinforced my desire to be a doctor. Now I definitely know I want to be a doctor, and I have some practical experience, which is a great thing to anyone who wants to get a job, if they have some experience beforehand. One way to make volunteering really fun is if you volunteer with your friends. Like I mentioned on my poster, in my community, we just started a program called Community Service Day. And in our high school, one day every year, usually in May, we go out and volunteer somewhere in our community. A bunch of my friends and I were assigned to clean buses, which sounds awful, but it was actually really fun because I got to do it with my friends, and we hung out afterwards, and it was a really great day. And we got a day off school, which was even better. But a lot of people who volunteer with their friends find it even more rewarding. Like I said, my friends went to Florida for Habitat for Humanity over spring break, and they had a blast. I saw the Facebook photos. So in conclusion, I hope I've been able to convince you that volunteering is a great thing to do with your life. It's rewarding, it's fun, and it helps you out in the real world when you're applying for jobs. If you can spare the time, you'll definitely find something you enjoy doing, and hopefully you'll have a lot of fun and gain some knowledge doing it. I'd like to conclude with a quote from Maya Angelou, one of my favorite poets. She once said, "I have found that among its other benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver." I think that's a pretty insightful quote, and I think it applies really well in this conclusion. So after this, I hope you guys go and volunteer somewhere. That's it. Thank you.